Thanks everybody for showing up. For those of you who missed the introduction, we appreciate you joining us this afternoon. We're going to spend about 30 to 40 minutes showing you or describing what we term what can be called a CPQ, or product configurators, or design automation. It's all kind of one and the same, and we're just going to touch on the different aspects of automating your business to dominate your competition. First question from Mike, who is speaking. So my name is John Mignardi. I'm from Javelin, so I was just going to kind of get into that. So let's start with some of the discussion. Hang on a sec. Okay, very good. So for those of you who don't know us, Javelin is Canada's leading trusted Canadian 3D technology partner, and we are a company that's helping manufacturing companies remain strong, get strong, and remain strong, and be as productive as possible. Sorry, I'm just having trouble moving these slides. Okay, great. So yeah, I'll get into more of the introductions, but we've titled the webinar as Automate to Dominate, and it's based on a series of blog postings that we have published over the past couple of months. And I refer to CPQ, configure, price, quote. We also call this technology as product configurators. I'm going to show you some online product configurators, but the whole concept is to identify the potential to automate multiple aspects of your business, and not just the idea of automating, but also integrating, so that in multiple different enterprise business systems that you use on a daily basis to run your company can talk to each other to give you some very extreme advantages over your competition. So we termed it as Automate to Dominate, and so let's get into some of the content. Now, I promise I'm not going to PowerPoint you to death, and so I'm going to go as fast as I can. So I apologize if my speech is slurred, but we're going to try to spend as much time showing you some of the wonderful sites that are available, and some of the capabilities that you can benefit from. So we're going to get into some introductions. We'll talk about who needs CPQ, or product configuration. Again, the terms are interchangeable. We're going to talk about how you can automate quotes and tie it together to product specification. We are going to talk about how to automate drawing creation and generate other manufacturing content. We will talk about how you can generate libraries either overnight or over time, which is a nice capability. And we're going to have a demonstration of how you connect this system, product configurators or CPQ, to, in this case, we're going to show how you can connect to Salesforce, but generally we want to show the concept of how it can connect to other systems. We have a couple of success stories that we're going to talk about. Then we're going to get into the demonstrations and finish it off with some return on investment, how to develop return on investment, some government funding sources that are available to help subsidize part of the implementation, and Q&A. So a lot of information. Let's see if okay, great. Just a little bit about information about Javelin. As I started saying, we've been in business for 19 years, and a lot of customers throughout Canada. We are our main product line is SolidWorks, 3D CAD modeling software that includes all the capabilities of simulation, product documentation, visualization, inspection. So it's a whole platform, and one of the platforms that my team, or our team, exploits is a piece of software called DriveWorks. So as I talked about, we are all across Canada. I've been in business for over 19 years. One aspect of our business, and the reason I show this, is because it has an implication for a website that we're going to talk about in a few moments. So these are some of the applications that our 3D printing team at Javelin helps our customers with, and like I said, you'll see later on why this is of significance. So as I said, the piece of software that works within or within SolidWorks is called DriveWorks. This is the CPQ software that enables our customers to automate a lot of aspects of their business. And DriveWorks, the company, is a super nice company to work with. They're growing, they're expanding, and they're a gold partner to SolidWorks, and they've got a global customer base because of that. They're selling their software all over the planet. Our team at Javelin is focused on DriveWorks and automation projects. We've got a lot of great experience and a lot of successful customers. I basically found my first DriveWorks customer in 2007, and but we started Javelin started selling DriveWorks in 2006 and have a lot of great customer success stories. Now, when we talk about CPQ and automation, and we look at the type of industries that we've been involved in, it is across a lot of different industries, and it applies for applications for products that can be described as same as but slightly different. So like that hoist, like that trailer, like those cylinders. Yeah, there are standard variations of those, but if you needed to do a custom cylinder for a specific application, this technology allows you to easily develop multiple different variants without having to go through a lot of gyrations to produce all those all the documentation to create those types of create and fabricate those assemblies. So we've been involved with furniture companies, vehicles, windows and doors, seals, bearings, and material handling companies. So there's the only application where there's not as much automation potential are companies that design automation or one-off type machinery. But when we take a close look, there are different small applications that where this technology can apply. Now, in terms of who needs the application, why your business would need CPQ or configure price quote is companies that have or are losing market share, for example, because they lack new product development. So one of the things that we hear is that you know, the engineers are too busy. They're doing all these pre-sales work, and it's costing them a lot of time, and because of that they can't get into new markets or new products. And so this is a real nice application to free up that type of manpower or resource. If your company is unable to meet quote deadlines, if you're struggling to compete in a competitive marketplace, it's a pretty nice fit to solve that type of problem. If your customers are demanding custom products at standard prices, again, it's a real nice fit. And if your company has salespeople that are selling something that can't be made, which happens a lot, as well as a design process that's too reliant on internal expertise. And in my experience, I've been with Javelin for about 16 years, and I've seen a lot of companies where the owner might have like a right-hand man, and if that person goes on vacation, you know, things don't go well for that time when he's away. So we also work with companies that have already developed their own DriveWorks, developed their own quoting automation, whether it's by spreadsheets or other type of web form. You know, we've got a lot of customers that do quotes before they work on projects, and have developed systems to help them speed up that process. Now, some of the key benefits of CPQ, configure price quote, is the ability to automate repetitive tasks. So when you look at one trailer if you compare one trailer to the next, not a lot of difference, and you still have to generate all the content to be able to run that through into your production. But with the CPQ and DriveWorks technology, we have the ability to automate a lot of the creation of the content, and we'll show that really clearly in an upcoming example. We also like to take a look at automating automatable tasks. So when we talk about, for example, taking a bill of material, a simple bill of material, and uploading it into an ERP system. Still today, we see customers that are giving somebody an Excel file and getting them to manually input that information from SolidWorks into their ERP system or whatever management system they use to create their or manage their requirements. The way we look at a business, we look at every single possible step in the process and look for every opportunity to automate those steps, and you'll see some really nice examples coming up. We also enable people to capture knowledge. So, you know, the right-hand man, we like to get everything that's in his head and make sure we apply rules to whatever system we put in place, and so that we do not allow someone to specify that something that can't be made. And we also enable companies to, like I said before, build libraries overnight or over time. Now, one of the things about working on these automation projects is that although DriveWorks can't fix incorrect pricing models, we give people the ability to find where those pricing models need an adjustment. And so we've talked to too many companies where they're winning a lot of business, but they're not being profitable, and the other way around, where they're losing a lot of business, where they're overpricing the projects that they're bidding on. So as I said, with DriveWorks, when you put these projects together, DriveWorks doesn't fix that problem, but it certainly highlights it and gives you the opportunity to make those adjustments and have a well-performing system. Okay, all right, so here's one case study, one of our success stories with DriveWorks. We've been working with this company since 2007. They design marine bearings, so their bearing assemblies can be installed anywhere on the planet. They have over 85 dealers around the world that they needed a system to capture information from those dealers and to automate the process of generating a rapid quote. And so, as I said, we've been working with them since 2007. This website is available 24/7. It's being used by people in inside sales as well as trained dealers that are able to generate quotes essentially 24/7. And we are able, with this system, they're able to generate all the documentation to get those orders into production and have reduced days of work down to about 6 to 11 minutes. The other nice thing we like about this application is that it connects multiple databases. So the BOM goes into their ERP system. The order documentation is read in and out of their CRM system. So everything is all interconnected. And like we've said before, as somebody is going through the specification process, a lot of things happen automatically. So real nice case study. Another case study for another local company is a company called Blue Giant that develops dock levelers and door seals for industrial facilities. They introduced product configuration, and we're able to reduce the amount of time to create drawings and quotes by about 90%. 80% of all their projects run through DriveWorks, and we heard from them that if you take a look at all their product lines, they can configure up to 80 billion different variants of one product or another, given all the ways that you can adjust or modify this product. So when you have that much variability, or when you have to be able to give your customers the ultimate in the configuration capability, this became a real nice tool in their business. Now, one of the things that we want to share is that although DriveWorks is the main platform that runs inside of or with SolidWorks and connects all different systems, we have the capability to do custom programming to kind of fill in the blanks where they're to automate if there's not a a direct fit with the DriveWorks software. So wanted to kind of share that with you. So let's get into the demos as I promised. Hopefully this will work. Always a little funny when, okay, is everybody seeing this website? Somebody give me an indication on the chat room. All good? Okay, great. So here is a very, very simple website for a canopy assembly. It's one of the earlier ones that we started to use and allows you to make certain selections. For example, I'm going to design this on a computer as opposed to an iPhone, but I have the option of doing either. As I keep clicking next, I can refer you to this reference number that shows connectivity to an ERP system and CRM system that it automatically populates. So if I'm referring to any of the documentation, I can use that number. I can make selections in terms of what currency I use. So let's go with the Canadian dollar and keep on sliding along. So two things to keep in mind. As I said, it's pretty simple. But what I'm going to demonstrate is the ability to geometrically change this assembly. And as I make a change in the assembly, you'll notice that the price is going to update. So in this example, I've got a couple of ways that I can change the value, change the size or shape of this canopy. I can either, for example, just drag this over, and you'll see that really quickly the value changed, as did the price. So now we're at 12,410. So let me change the width now, and you'll see that each one of these height, depth, and width come with a minimum and a maximum. So there's things that you could do to determine what the next step is. So if I, for example, go to 10,000, this application will be set up to go to the maximum. So as you saw there, it adjusted to 6,000. If I don't want that, I'll just slide that to 4837 and update the price. I'll also update the roof pitch. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, the idea of putting rules into this is very important. And so if I'm adjusting this and I'm making it taller, for example, I might, for the loads where this will be built, I might have to thicken up the columns for the design. So as I change the geometry, it's not going to just change the geometry for just because I told it to. It'll also thicken if that location requires that I have a heavier load to consider. So there is intelligence in this application. Now, again, I'm just going to make some changes. Every time I click on the roof pitch, it has an impact on the price. So if you're a dealer, or if you're a customer, or if you're an inside salesperson and you want to get if you're working within a budget, or you want to get an idea what this thing will cost, you've got the instant feedback. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you don't have to show the price, right? You can if you want. Typically, our customers will show some sort of dollar value because with that close relationship, you want to be able to have them make certain decisions. In this case, for example, I'm going to look at the foundation. So you've got a graphic indicator. Right now it shows concrete, but I could go to base plate. And again, if there's a cost impact, in this case it'll show that. I can also change the color and see if there's an impact. So let me choose fuchsia and see what that does. Oh, shows fuchsia. It doesn't look like there's a price change, so not an impact there. So I can just keep on going, and with a lot of the websites that we show, we show or can demonstrate or can highlight a breakdown of what the certain cost elements were for that project. So now at this point, you can either take away some of these things. Okay, let's say I don't want to honor a 5-year warranty, so that affects the cost. If I want to go back and change the geometry because I don't have 12,000 to spend, then I can do so. But one way or another, as I work through this, I can set it up so that I can generate that design and everything else with it. So for this example, I'm just going to enter the company name, and later I'm going to open up my email just to show you how quick I'm going to get all this information. Okay. Now, one thing about this is that, so I'm going to get all the Excel and Word documents that are the quotes, and this system will automatically generate all the models and drawings. And like I said, in a few moments, this system is going to take anywhere from 4 to 8 minutes to generate all the documentation, and I'll show that to you in a few moments. So while that's chugging away, you'll see, oh, they're already. Okay, so here's the bill of materials, right? This is literally within seconds, the information is available to me. So that's a bomb in XML. And here's a quote document. Now these documents could be Word, they could be Excel, they could be any of multiple different formats. The idea is that this document, oh, I got the email already. These documents are already created, and they're created automatically, right? So, I didn't have to do anything to generate this. The system builds it. Here's an Excel-based quote. Let me just pop that open. You'll also see that, here's Excel-based quote, automatically generated. And you'll see all these documents. These are all the individual piece parts, the fabrication parts, as well as an assembly drawing. And once the e-drawing is done, I'll show that to you. Let's see if I can open that up. So that's one component. So, like I said, for this example, when we talk about automation and integrations, we went through a specification process where I made certain selections about that canopy, and the system put together all the documentation, the quote, the BOM, and all the drawings and models. And within a few moments, I'll get an e-drawing to show you what that thing looks like in 3D. So let's go to the next example. Like I said, I want to spend more time showing you different examples of what we refer to as CPQ, or online product configurators, and exploit the idea of how things happen automatically, and the idea that you're doing multiple things at the same time. So when I was in this application, as I was entering the values, I was basically building my bill of materials and creating the model for all these drawings to be generated from. So same in this application. This is a live business. I believe they're in Sweden, and so this company allows you to go online and build your own cell phone case. So let's do this live. It's going to be a little slower. Got to warn you a little bit, so I might have to do a little bit of singing to fill in the time, maybe not. But here, this interface shows you all the different aspects of this phone case that can be adjusted. So here's the model. So I could change the bumper style, the pattern, I could put an image, I can change the color. And so why don't we do that real quickly? So let me change that bumper to the medium. So you'll see, within a couple of seconds, the graphics will update. I'll also make a change. That's adjusted. I'm going to make a big change to the pattern here so you can see what I'm talking to. Let's go to skinny, see how that changes it. There you go. Let me put an image on there just so you can see that this is all being done. Here, let me do the piece hand. Now I can continue making changes. There's the piece hand. But the whole point of this is that this is a live business, and you're seeing this, right before your eyes. You can if you want to send me an email, I can send you the link, or you could just write down here www.3dphonecase.com and go through this process. But the nice thing about this application is that it's built within a framework that allows you to do e-commerce. So these are 3 systems that or phone cases that I put together through demos for people, and I can choose one or all of them and enter my account information. And once I do that, I'm not going to do that for now, but once I do that, this information, this model is going to be thrown to a 3D printer and printed, and the phone case will be shipped to your door. So you can go through the process of connecting this to like a Shopify or an e-commerce system so that someone could literally go onto your website, configure what they need, and buy it there on the spot. So whether you're in retail or whether you have dealers and have or need or want that type of system, the message is that you can do these designs live and in real time, graphical updates, cost updates, and automate a lot of tasks within your business to make it more efficient and dominate your competition. So here's another website, not a DriveWorks one, I don't think, but this one is nice because it shows you just like a different type of interface. So it really is nice when you can just go on here and click on and make a change. Let's say I want that as 6 floors, right? You know, there's a lot of tips and tricks that we can deploy to give you that speed and you know, can you imagine your business? How different would your business be if you had the ability to have your dealers or your sales guys or your designers go onto a website, make several decisions, and you know, you can see what the cost is. This is obviously a UK-based application, and you can request a quote. You can show a summary document, and you know, there's you know, a high level of automation and integration, and with these types of systems, and I'm going to show it to you again in another moment, is although it's real nice to be able to do all this, I want to really strongly emphasize that not only have you designed this thing, but you know, when you say, yeah, this quote turns into an order, you can set this up so the system generates everything automatically, just like I showed you with that quote and that bill of material. With the system, you can generate all your drawings, all your models, flat patterns, cut lists. If one of your customers wants their models in IGES, you could put it out in IGES. Virtually and essentially anything and everything that you do in SolidWorks essentially can be automated to generate the outputs that you need the system to create. So here's another quick example. I really like it because it shows multiple things. And it shows how fast you can get certain things done. This particular website, you can go to configuremyproduct.com. It's available 24/7. Choose on this and this cupboard, and you can see that you know, I'm able to spin this around. I'm interacting with the internet on the internet, so there's no software to install. It's all set up so people from within my company, either in inside sales or direct sales, field sales, or dealers, can get on here and configure what they want. And you know, a lot of customers that we talk to say, yeah, I do a lot of very complex things, and but you know, I can show you a lot of different complex systems that we've put together that are now very, very easy to work with. So with this type of system, same concept. If you look at the bottom right hand corner, I can go in and start making changes to whatever I need to change to suit my requirement. With that change, you can see physically or graphically that the assembly has changed, and so has the price. I can continue to make changes, set that to 800, and same concept. I can go at this all day long, make changes all day long. I can continue to make changes. You know, some of them, you know, that have a real big impact, like just changing that to mahogany, almost double the price, and you'll see that it's real nice performance. Again, to highlight this, as compared to the original canopy that I showed you, this one does have all the graphics that update. So you can do that. You don't necessarily have to. A lot of different systems that we've seen, like ERP-based configurators, is just a matter of, you know, making selections, but having that graphical input has a huge impact. can have a huge impact, and the idea of seeing what the cost is can have an impact on what somebody buys or does not buy. So if that's too expensive, let's go back to Maple, and you'll see that it's slightly different, and the cost is lower. Same idea. Let's go with a different door style. And again, I really like the idea that as I'm doing this, I'm doing basically 3 or 4 things at the same time. So I'm making these selections, everything is happening, and at the same time, I'm developing my bill of material and getting my drawings ready and a quote and everything else. Here's a summary, and items can relate to items within your ERP system. So if you had to order this by separate components, because that's how your ERP system has your items set up, you can have it configured that way, or just again, you just make it look any way you like. Now, for this example, this website has been designed, and I'll show you this in a second how fast. Actually, let's do it now. But as you can see, with this system, I'm getting a whole bunch of documentation automatically generated. Okay, let me type in Javelin. So here's what I'm going to get when I hit the submit button. All the parts and assemblies in SolidWorks, models and drawings, drawings in PDF, cover letter, BOM, quotation, DXF, so all the flat patterns. So this will apply to sheet metal as well if you needed to flatten sheet metal parts or fabrics, and cut lists for the panel and glass. So when I submit that, this all this information that I captured through this specification process gets pushed into what's called an autopilot server, which in this case is based in the UK, and within a couple of moments is going to generate all this documents. Okay, so actually it's done it already. So here's the bill of materials. So that's done already automatically. So it didn't have to do anything to get that. And you'll see that all these other documents are processing right now. So this server is generating all this content, and in a couple of moments you'll see them, all the images kind of stream across. So while that's going on, let me show you. Here's the quote as an HTML document. Here's a cover letter. If in the sales process you needed that sort of document, this will create all those for you. So this is okay. So this is going to chug away a little bit. Again, we're kind of displaying or explaining how this technology, once you're doing something, one set of actions gives you multiple different outputs. So while that's going away, let's I'd like to introduce one of our application engineers on the DriveWorks team, Lee Heron, and he's going to show you the integration with Salesforce. So let me see if I can find Lee. Hey Lee, are you logged in?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So let me see if I can give you, oops, presenter. There you go.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we're going to review the Salesforce integration. So we're going to take a look. At 2 aspects of it. The first just being what kind of data and how much data we can get out of Salesforce. And then we're also going to look at how we might use this in the context of an actual project. Okay. So right now I'm logged into Salesforce right now. Okay, so you can see this is just your typical basic setup, and I'm in the accounts section right now. Also over here, I'm logged into our Javelin DriveWorks server, and I'm going to activate the Salesforce project. So I'm going to activate that one right now. So this project is this main project is just to demonstrate the kind of data that we can pull out. So in this case right here, you can see it's off, right? And I'm going to activate it. So that's going to go and sync all the data over. And now I've brought in all of my accounts here. So just to give you an idea that this is the same data, I'm going to go over to Salesforce. I'm going to generate an account view. And here's all my accounts in Salesforce. So you can see I've added here as a test one, Blue Giant. Here's some of the information. This is not accurate information by any means, but you can see here it is. And if I come back over here, here's Blue Giant, 123 Fake Street. Now I'll show you how closely and how quickly these interact with each other. I'm going to come over here and edit the Blue Giant contact. I'm going to edit the billing street. So 7. So call it that. Description. This is a description for a demo on Salesforce. Okay, I will save this. Right, there's my changes. They've been saved here. Come back over, deactivate, reactivate, and here's my new information that's been pulled in. So you can see this is very tight integration. This is instantaneous between Salesforce and DriveWorks. As soon as this action is triggered, and I can trigger it at any point I want in my workflow, the data comes right over. So let's go and look at this in the context of an actual project now. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to activate a child specification. So this is actually a project within a project. And here's one of our little demo projects. So I have a YouTube video playing, so I'm just disabling that. So here we go. New company. Actually, it's going to be my company. Lee's DriveWorks company. First name. You can see here as well, I'm sure John mentioned, the project's intelligence. You can see the red changing to black as valid entries are being made. This is the intelligence that can be built in. Phone number. One, 2, 3.
Okay, just to let everybody know, all the documents from all the documents from the cupboard are now ready. So, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay. Yep, I'll be done shortly. So okay, I've entered in all my data. I'm going to do my second screen here. This is a little event project, so our event's going to pop up here. And in a second, there's our 3D preview. Great. So why don't we make a few changes? We'll make it brown, 48, or maybe we'll make it 55 inches by 9. We'll preview that. You can see the price is updated, right? We already have our quote number, and in the background it's given it a unique name, which we're now going to pull this product name into Salesforce as well. So here comes our 3D preview. It's a little bit slow, probably because I'm broadcasting. Come on.
Do you want to slide it back to me so I can show you while that's...
Oh, I'm nearly done. Just give me one moment, John. So my 3D preview is generating there as I speak. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit this information into Salesforce. Right? So I have a new product. This is a new product. I've never created it before. I'm going to send it over to Salesforce. And if I come back over to Salesforce now, I can have a look at my products. I can see I have a 55-inch by 10-inch new product that's been created. This was not here before. These are the numbers I just typed in, right? And yeah, so
yeah, we really like the idea of
that's Salesforce, and I can release this as well. So now I've released that product as well.
Okay, sorry about that, Lee.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of a delay, so when I hear silence, I like to fill it in. But anyway, as I was saying, we really like the idea of automating as many tasks as possible. So so if you're looking at building a library of those registers or your given product, and you want to do this, build a libraries either overnight or over time, you've got your options, right? One of our customers, when they go through a change in their application, they'll run 20,000 variants over the weekend and generate all their pricing and compare before and after, so that there aren't any surprises when they roll out the new system to their dealers. And as you see here, just the idea of entering account information and having it auto-populate, not just in Salesforce or NetSuite or Microsoft Dynamics, whatever you use, but the idea that you can reuse that information all over and over again. It could populate drawing borders, you can put it on sales quote documents and cover letters. So by doing one task, you're doing multiple different automated tasks. So we like that concept. Do you have anything else to add, Lee?
Yeah, the last thing I would add is you can see here that actually did two steps at once. It created a new account, a new company, and a new product. So like John was mentioning, the one project actually is doing multiple things. It's generating our new products and our new databases, new contacts, and our drawings as well. And with the new web features that are in DriveWorks, we can access data all over the web, send it or receive it. So it's very versatile and powerful.
Yes, so connectivity, very, very important. Automation, it's, as we said, automate to dominate. It's the theme, and hopefully you're getting that impression of how this technology will enable to do that. Okay. You anything else to add there, Lee?
No, that's it. If anybody has any questions,
okay, so let me.
I'm happy to answer them, but otherwise I'll throw it back to you.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Lee. Appreciate that. Okay, Lee, stick around. If there's anything I miss, feel free to fill in the blanks. So while we were watching that, the system was generating all these documents, all automatically. So no requirement for a designer, no matter how fast. All these were, you might want to term them, robotically generated. Everything that I need to put this into production is generated automatically. So let's see what these things look like. So I showed you the bill of material. Let me show you a, quotation in PDF. So the PDF version of that document. Pretty simple, but automated, generated automatically and available within minutes. Here's a cupboard e-drawing. So let me just download that so you can see. Let me launch that. That may take a couple minutes, or a couple seconds, sorry. While that's going, let me launch this drawing. So one of the things about this drawing, and if you want to go back to this website, as I said, it's available 24/7. What you'll see is if you go through any of these types of examples, this has my name and the drawing border, and it was designed today. So if you go back in here and enter your contact details, sorry about that. All right, you'll see the exact same thing. All these drawings generated automatically, quotes, bills of materials, cut lists. So if I haven't said it enough times, all automatically generated, all while I was oops, let's do that later. So connected to other systems, you can generate as much information as you need to automate. There's that e-drawing, there you go. a lot of our customers use these in pre-sales, so we like to show these e-drawings. They're quite impressive. This is a cupboard, but a lot of our customers will use this for you know, bearing assemblies, pumps, you name it. A lot of things that you can do. You really take this thing apart. You can explode it, or oops, do it again. There you go. Or if you just want to, take a look inside and see how this thing is made, if you really want to interrogate what was in here. This isn't an e-drawings presentation, but you got to admit this is really, really cool to show. So this will reset and then start back again. So that's an e-drawing automatically generated from DriveWorks. So, and while we're here, let me just quickly show you the canopy drawing. So this, while I was going through the other websites, was automatically being generated. So it doesn't show my name, but it shows, if you look here, that it was generated today. All right, so one last thing to show you. So we are partnered with DriveWorks. DriveWorksLive.com is their website. They've set it up. They made some changes, so it's kind of brand new. I can now configure this watch online and do a number of different things to it to configure it. It's the same type of idea. You can have different views. You could spin this around. You can get the price. But the nice thing about this website is you can go and look for your industry. And if you want to play with an example, if you do trailers or trailer accessories, here's the canopy that I used. There's a door assembly. There's stairs. Check on here if your industry is on here, and probably a good chance there is. You can go in, launch the configurator, and start seeing what's able to do. So it's available 24/7. I use it 2 or 3 times a week to demonstrate to customers, and really quite powerful. Talks about a lot of things that we talked about today, how you could use it on tablets, phones, laptops. It connects to ERP, CRM. You get the 3D experience, time-saving automation, modular and flexible. Its scalability. So it is a really, really nice website, and I encourage you to view it if you've got any questions, or go on to our site, which is currently being updated as well. So let's kind of finish off. I hope you were able to see a lot of different aspects of CPQ or product configurators or online configurators or design automation, very interchangeable. The thing we wanted to make sure that you came away with, and if you've got any questions, throw them in the question pane. I'll work through those. But we want to summarize the idea that you can use this technology to automatically generate quotes. You can build systems with intelligence so that you don't have to chase Charlie around the office to find out, hey, what does this cost? Hey, can I put this together? Those types of things. You can use that intelligence and build it into a system. You can auto-generate the quotes, drawings, flat patterns, cut lists, bills of materials, and push that information electronically to other business systems. We didn't really show it that well, but we've talked about the idea that you can build your libraries either overnight or over time. Because DriveWorks runs on SQL, you can attach a database to it and rhyme off thousands of different variants, and if you've got it connected to Salesforce, you can populate all your items automatically. So a lot of capability to automate a lot of tasks, and we look forward to a conversation with any and all of you to discuss those opportunities. We showed you the integration with enterprise systems, whether it's ERP to electronically upload a BOM, or a CRM system. We showed Salesforce, but it works the same way. We can make those connections with NetSuite as well. So yeah, I think when we think about the theme of automate to dominate, we just want to make sure that you totally understand that all this capability is available to you. Okay, there you go. So some of the benefits that we share with our customers, the speed and accuracy of generating all this information, the fact that it's electronically generated and can be shared within multiple systems within a company. We like the idea of better utilizing resources. So instead of having an engineer or designer take that cupboard and make the changes and produce all the drawings and produce all the flat patterns, that is easily done for sure. But why spend that money when you can automate that and have that designer working on a more custom project, more profitable, more money-making project, and getting into new business or new markets and new product development. A lot of our customers lose a lot of time on quotes that they lose, which is just lost time. A lot of our customers tell us that they have increased sales rates, which is great. So I'm speeding through because some people have hard cutoffs, but so with the developing of a return on investment, there's some tangible benefits, and I think if you take a look at how much man hours can be saved with the same as but slightly different type of design is pretty compelling. Reduced wasted effort, and some of the intangibles such as increasing sales, capturing knowledge, so people can go on vacation and not worry about a company falling apart, and having the mandate to find more dealers, build your dealer network rather than trying to get drawings and quotes faster, right? Instead of getting faster, consider automating so that you can build and support your dealers and people that you work with. Now, in terms of some of the metric, these are available on case studies of actual businesses. One elevator company was able to reduce the amount of time to generate a quote and a general arrangement drawing from 5 weeks to 1 day. They're now producing 4 times more elevators than they were, sell 4 times as many elevators as they did 4 years ago. A lot of customers tell us that they are able to reduce engineering time by like 90% or more, and a lot of customers are being able to specify and support their dealers better by having these systems online and having to eliminate web forms or paper documents or any of that sort of means of generating information. Now, we work with a couple of with MentorWorks, and we are connected with a couple of government programs that'll help you subsidize some of the costs associated with not just the software but the training and mentoring to get these projects in place. A lot of our customers have won pretty substantial awards for funding awards, and we're able to kick off really nice projects. So in terms of using the technology, if we haven't made the case, automate to dominate. That's the one and only reason to take a look at this technology. But in terms of why Javelin, we've got a very experienced team. Been working with SolidWorks since 1997, so we know the whole suite of products, and but we also are great at connecting with other business systems. We've got some great reference stories. We're the leader. I'd say we're the leaders in North America for DriveWorks, and we do, as a matter of fact, have customers that are in the US and one in the UK that was referred to us by one of our local customers. So questions and answers, I've got a couple. As I said, throw them into the viewer pane. And do you have experience in integrating with Epicor Vantage? I don't, but I'd have to ask one of our guys. I know our data management specialist has used Epicor quite a bit, and so while I can't say I have experience with it, someone at Javelin does have the experience. Essentially, actually, we got a question about another ERP system. Essentially, as long as your system is either cloud-based or SQL-based, we can connect files, push and pull data, quite easily. All we have to know is where to find the information, and we could pull it all in, or we could generate and push it in. So I'll have to ask one of our other guys to see if he's got Epic or Vantage 10 experience. One other question. So hopefully that answers that question. If not, I'll get back to you. One other question came up relative to ERP-based configurators. Now, one of the things that we've seen is that ERP-based configurators are good, except if the variant does not exist, does not pre-exist, the system will not generate the CAD data. So there has to be a link between whatever you use to specify a new variant and connect it to the CAD system that'll generate all the models and drawings and everything else. So while there are ERP systems that do have configurators, where we would come in is we would bridge the gap. So actually there's two things. Number one, we could build all the libraries really, really quickly, so you can populate all your items into your quoting system and have all the drawings, have all the flat patterns, have that already up front. Or you could just build them as you go. So our system, as you saw here, built all that or generated all that content based on those inputs. That information did not exist already. We built it right there on the spot for you automatically and within moments. And so when we talk to companies that have ERP systems, the message is that we can connect with them, and we could bridge the gap for items that need to be created because our integration with SolidWorks is superior to any other software that's around. Did anyone have any other questions? Those are the two questions that I got. Nothing else. Okay. Oh, will there be a recording? Yes, we can make a recording available to you, and we can give you a subset of the slide deck. So if there's information that you need, something specific, either we can give you like an AVI file, or we can give you a few slides from the slide deck. More than likely, we'll have this put onto YouTube so that you can review it. If you have any specific questions, you can contact me or Lee. All right, there you go. So those are our contact details. So I'm involved in sales. Lee is one of our technical specialists, and if you have any thoughts or comments or questions, or if you'd like to meet with us to discuss your specific application, your specific problem, we'd be happy to slide out and have the automation discussion with you. So no other questions coming in. So at this point, I'd like to thank you all very much for your time. I hope you found this information important and valuable. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. I work with all the account managers at Javelin. So if you're working with one of our guys, whether it's Jeff Malloy, Jeff Craig, or Adriana, or Rob, or whoever, and you wanted to introduce me, I'd be happy to slide in with the account manager and make sure that we're all trying to help your problem and help you automate to dominate your competition. So unless anyone has any other question, thanks. Any questions? So thank you again for your time, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you soon.